goodness. Hey, the 4th of July weekend is prime time for not driving but boating on America's rivers and lakes. But please, really, safety first.
Definitely. The U.S. Coast Guard details 658 boating deaths on America's waters in 2021. Alcohol and excessive speed, the primary contributors to the deadly accidents.
Oh, we need an expert. We've got one. Let's bring in Jim Evans, Executive Director of the Water Sports Foundation. We're so lucky to have you with us this morning. Good morning to you in Orlando. And we know the weather is, well, the forecast. It's really a must-do to understand it before going out, right?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for having me back on the Weather Channel again for this holiday weekend. We know holidays are the busiest time for boating, and especially the 4th of July. It's kind of the peak boating season. But yeah, with the weather, we like to tell people that they should always check their weather forecast at least a day in advance of when they're planning to do an outing, and then check it again about an hour before their outing, because weather is one of the, I guess, could be one of the most deadly incidents out on the water. We've seen that over the years in the statistics. And knowing that there's a thunderstorm or bad weather coming is the first way to avoid being caught in something like that.
Can we also talk about for a second, I got to do my due diligence here. I can't tell you how many times I've been out on the water, and so many of these boats now they're towing people behind them, right? Or they're wake surfing, and their heads are looking behind them, and they're not even focusing on what's ahead of them. I've almost been run into several times.
Well, it's the responsibility of the captain to have, forward lookout, make sure that they know where they're going and they're not going to collide with another boat. But sometimes you'll catch the captain looking over his shoulder to watch the action going on behind the boat. So, that's a big no-no. You're required as a boater to have a lookout at all times. We like to say you should have multiple lookouts so that you can have captain looking forward and other crew members looking, to the side to make sure that there's, no dangers coming, especially at night. Having lookouts in every direction is super important.
You just brought up night. Let's go right to that if we can for a moment. 4th of July. What do you think about it? You think about fireworks, right? And you think about boating, and boating at night. Can you talk about how we should be safe, trying not to merge maybe those two?
Well, boating at night is a very difficult activity. It requires special skills. We like to say that it's not for beginners. If you're new to boating, you should seek experienced help. Fireworks, though, are a great place to be viewed on the water. And so if you have a boat and you can go out on the water and watch fireworks, it's a great activity. We encourage people to do that, but to do it safely. That requires people to make sure that their navigation lights are working properly before they embark on their trip, that they also move very slowly in the water at night. The visibility is reduced, obviously. So another thing I just mentioned was multiple lookouts, having lookouts forward, aft, and also off to either side of your vessel. You never know what's coming. And then the last thing is avoid impairment. I know 4th of July is a big party season for people, but as you mentioned earlier, alcohol is the #1 contributing factor to boating accidents causing fatalities. And unfortunately, this time of year, we usually see a spike in this. The officers out there on the water are going to be looking for this week. There's heightened enforcement.
Great advice. All right.
You're driving the boat. Don't be drinking. Friends can. Got to stay sober. Jim Evans, in Orlando this morning. Thanks for being with us. Happy boating to you. Stay safe, and we appreciate the tips because it's a good reminder for us sometimes.
No doubt.